Hey everyone, so for this video we're going to be having a look at the next upcoming feature, which is the delayed deployment zones. So essentially what I mean by that is ships or indeed entire fleets should now be able to deploy in later turns. At the moment everything deploys on turn 1, but with this change you'll be able to get a lot more flexibility around that, and that'll help you build more interesting scenarios, which is the main purpose of this update. So let's find ourselves in the create game screen, which of course will be familiar to most of you, and this is the first chance you get to do delayed deployment. So what you can do is either in the slot you have, you'll have the new turn available option, and you can basically just type in whatever turn you would like your ships to deploy. So for purposes of this example, I'm going to do 3, and I'm going to leave the other one just at 1, and then create your game as normal, and this will take you through to the fleet selection. So here you will then see that turn available 3. So that entire slot, everything this player buys is going to be available from turn 3. And this brings us to the second way that you can do this, which is within your slot, your player slot, you can amend the turn available for individual ships. If the slot is set to 3, you won't be able to go below 3, however, but you can happily go to, let's say, 5. So let's buy a dreadnought at 5. Let's just have a gunship at 3, and then ready up that fleet. And what I'll then do is just pause the video and come back in a second with the loaded up game. And okay, so we're now in the deployment phase, so I'm just going to place my dreadnought. Now you'll notice that this isn't any different, okay? So we know that this entire fleet is deploying turn 3 or later, but the actual deployment part of it will be exactly the same. Your slot will have a deployment zone and you'll place your ships in there, albeit they will not arrive until much later in the scenario. Okay, so let's select that, and we should deploy in a second. Okay, and here you have the first major change in game. You will see, so we had one ship deploying 3, which was a gunship, and I think it was a dreadnought that was in turn 5. But I've already forgotten what those ships were, so players probably will as well. And how you remedy that is, if you right click on these, you will see that the SCS still appears. Now you cannot interact with this ship because it's not here yet, okay? And the game, if things have gone according to plan, will not recognize that that ship exists at all. However, you can still view what it is. If it has any enhancements, you'll be able to see what they are here. You'll be able to look at the notes, and so on and so forth. And I was right, it was the gunship that was on turn 3, and indeed there's a dreadnought on turn 5. So that is, I think, one of the key things about this update, just being aware of, you'll have quite, I think, as good a UI as we can probably get in Fiery Void to display what's coming and when. So if we just look at the other slot, we can see it's a slightly different story from them. First of all, they cannot see the Dilgar ships because the Dilgar ships haven't deployed yet, so they're not there to be viewed. And for that, we can see the one ship that Dilgar could see, the only ship that's deployed in this battle so far. But we can also see that actually the Grom have also decided to deploy a ship a bit later, and that was using the deployment on a ship-by-ship basis that I showed you earlier. The green option when you're buying a ship, and it's going to deploy it on turn 2. Now, where it's an individual ship, because there's a couple of other UI sort of things that might sort of help you, because basically within the slot there'd be a mixture of deployment zones. So this one you can see, instead of electronic warfare, it just tells you deploys on turn 2. You could also hover over the window and you can see at the bottom there in the enhancements, ship deploys on turn 2. So there's a number of ways that the game is trying to tell you what's going on, which by FE standards is quite good, I would think, as historically the game hasn't necessarily given you the information easily, even when it existed. So As I say, got high hopes for this one, that this will allow lots of different scenarios, so convoy raids, wave after wave of attacks on a base, for example, or two that sort of occurred to me, or indeed sort of set up an asteroid field, hide a submarine in it after this patch, and then try and find it with increasing numbers of ships arriving to help hunt for it. I don't know, use your imaginations, but overall I hope that you enjoy this edition. Thanks.